So guys, welcome to VRD Nation. Through this channel, we are trying to build a community of investors and traders where anybody who is getting started with the stock market or getting started with trading or investing can come and easily understand even the most difficult topics in the simplest of ways. And that's the reason why we use animations, we use real life examples, real life case studies, real life trades. So there is a lot of effort that goes into this channel. So if you are new to this channel, do not forget to subscribe. Now, one of the things that we do differently in this channel is that we not only talk about profits, but we also like to talk about losses, because it is my philosophy that in trading, you have to take care of losses, because if you can take care of your losses, the profits will take care of themselves. And today's topic goes perfectly with that theme, right? So without any further ado, let's get started. So the topic at hand today is drawdowns, which basically means the percentage of capital a trader loses before bouncing back up. Let's take an example to understand this. So let's say that you were doing great in your trading and the capital in your account was growing nicely, right? So life was good. Then you hit a rough patch. Either you started to take some big losses or your strategy stopped working as well as it used to. Either way, the losses start to eat into your capital and the account value starts to come down. Now in this case, the maximum value of the account from where you started to see the decline would be called the peak, and the lowest point from which you recovered back would be called the trough. And the percentage difference between the two is called drawdown. Now drawdowns in trading are very common. Every trader, including myself, has gone through drawdowns. It is very normal. It happens all the time. But the percentage of drawdown is what is very important to understand. So a 10 to 20% of drawdown is very common. It happens all the time. But a deeper drawdown of, let's say, 40% or 50% could be very damaging to the account. Because as you can see from this table, the deeper the drawdown, the harder it becomes to get back to normal, right? So if your drawdown is, let's say, 50%, then now you need to make 100% of gains just to go back to the point where you originally were. And as you can see from this table, the math can just turn really ugly from this point onwards. Now, what causes drawdowns? In my experience, there are three common reasons why traders usually experience drawdowns. The first and the most common reason is that traders start to take big losses that wipe out most of their previous profits. Sometimes there are a few trades, sometimes even just one day of bad trade, sometimes even just one bad trade can wipe out a significant amount of capital. Now the second possibility is that the trader is maybe experimenting with some new strategy or maybe trying out some new instruments, or because he or she has not mastered, this strategy or this instrument, they are experiencing some drawdowns. So for example, in my case, I used to actively trade in Bank Nifty futures before I shifted to Nifty options, right? So the transition of mine from Bank Nifty to Nifty and of course from futures to options, it took me a lot of time to figure that thing out. And during that period, I experienced some drawdown, which was very normal to expect. Now, the third possible reason for a drawdown is that the market conditions may have changed. So the strategies that used to work earlier may not be working in this market condition. So for example, back in 2021, when the market was extremely bullish, traders were making easy money by just buying the dips, right? Every time you buy a dip, you will basically make 5% or 10%. But if you deployed the same strategy in, let's say, 2022, you would have a tough time making money, right? So the market conditions change and that can also induce some drawdowns. But whatever is the case, guys, I can tell you from my own experience that drawdowns can be very stressful and they induce all sorts of emotions in us. We lose confidence, we start to question ourselves, we start to take trades out of desperation, right? So what I've seen is that these negative feelings tend to cause the drawdowns to become even more severe than they really have to. So what I have learned is that during these periods of drawdown, we need to detach ourselves from the situation and look at it like a doctor would look at the patient, right? So there is nothing personal about it, right? So there is a problem. You have to diagnose the problem, find the root cause and fix it, right? So don't take anything personally. Trust me, it happens to everyone. So guys, so far we have talked about the reasons of drawdown and the effects of drawdown. Now let's talk about a powerful way of looking at drawdowns more proactively. And this can be done through backtesting. So when you backtest any strategy through platforms such as AmiBroker or TradingView or Python, the application shows you the maximum drawdown for the strategy. Meaning that if you use that strategy, how much your account value can come down from the peak. Now, I put a great deal of emphasis on this because it doesn't matter how good the strategy is, right? If the maximum drawdown is 30% or 40% or even more, it is a deal breaker for me because it will become that much harder for me to get back to where I was earlier. So guys, that's basically it. I hope that you understood the concept of drawdowns and you would apply that in your own trading journey.